Wednesday, December 30th. Gloomy day outside. This is Empty with your guy, K. Raz. Some know me as Kevin Rasberry. So today, we are going to kind of talk about spontaneity, the things that happen when we're not expecting them. But before I do, I want to say the show is brought to you by Midtown ABC, opening soon in Lake Carolina and Solar Station. It is the spirit of Midtown. The great sound you'll hear is by my very own partner, homie, great friend, favorite jazz artist, Dante Lewis. Visit Dante at DanteLewisMusic.com to book him and buy his music. The one I'm listening to today is Sweet Love, tribute to Anita Baker. Dante is awesome. If you haven't had a chance to attend his concerts or have a surprise done by him, he does a lot of private parties and things as well. So on to the show. Today's theme, the best deal you find in life will not be the one that was advertised or planned. So I guess into that, you kind of have to talk a little bit about the spontaneity of things. So spontaneous, of course, is by definition performed or occurring as a result of a sudden inner impulse or inclination and without premeditation or external stimulus. So my story for today is how I got into teaching. Totally unplanned, totally caught off guard. Just happened to be doing some research for a business I was helping to develop for someone, and I was going in the library, and I was actually leaving out. I had been there several hours, and I was leaving out. Ran into superintendent, who's a friend as well, and I guess it dawned on him at the time. He's like, "Listen, what are you doing now? Like, why don't you come teach, man? I need some good guys in the district." And I'm looking at him like, teach? And some of you may think, well, Kevin, you ran a school. Well, from an administrative standpoint, from an executive director standpoint, it was a little different. You know what I mean? So I didn't claim to be this teacher, executive, whatever. And I hear some of y'all in the background back there laughing. I'm giving y'all the sound effects of it as well. And it's fine because growing up in school for me was torturous, really. I just did so horrible. It was tough for me in those different subjects, even though I was known by everybody. But I just struggled. I couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't understand. So I was this bad student. And I would study. I would study hard. I mean, I would spend a lot of time by myself, just reading and trying to put things together. So it to become a teacher was never anything that was on my mind. I can't say that I would never do it. I just never saw myself doing it because of how I was as a student. Some of the bad experiences I had in school, the worst experiences have been with teachers and how they say certain things to you. They assume certain things. I mean, I tell people this story all the time. It's one of my stories I always tell the kids at school. My English teacher one day was just totally frustrated with me. And this is around the time a lot of my friends were taking SATs and getting acceptance letters and things like that. And she said in front of the class, she said, "Well, Kevin, I didn't anticipate you getting any letters, but I do believe that there is some good fortune coming for you in your life, I expect you to be at least the first gas station attendant. Yeah. It's as comical as it is now. It was tough for me at that time. And it just scarred me dealing with teachers in school. Even though when I got in the military, there's a lot of training. There's a lot of school for all our vets out there. They remember, not just basic training, AIT sitting in a classroom, but ongoing training you have to go through. Additionally, Ranger School, Sniper School, Airborne School, Air Assault School. Even though there's physical activity, there's a lot of classroom time in it. So I had some old soldiers that taught me how to learn. They, basically assessed me and told me, Kevin, your problem is you don't like the process of learning. So kind of fast forward to getting out of the military, getting 3 degrees, which is hilarious in itself to me and others. 2 bachelor's degrees and an MBA. But as much as I thought I was preparing myself for businesses, which I still help businesses, still help build them, especially nonprofits, the spontaneous part about all of this is on the spot, someone asked me about being a teacher. I didn't plan that at all, even though it was planned for me, obviously. So it was one that I reluctantly went into. And so life itself throws surprises. I remember seeing the commercial. You guys remember the commercial where they had the pothole that the car was going and flying down, and the car hit it and it says life comes at you fast. I know, right? So think about Mayhem, the Allstate guy. Mayhem has some issues. But life happens. Hail happens, tear up your roof, things like that. That's something that just happens. But let's talk about the good stuff that happens. Some of us just unplanned, not thinking about it, run into your lifelong partner. Some run into business that ends up becoming your life. Let's be honest, a lot of us, we love our kids. They're probably one of the best things in our life. And a lot of them, let's be honest now, they wasn't playing. Thank you. But we now have to go forward with living it the best way we possibly can when it happens to us. Because sometimes it can be overwhelming and we can think that it's not for us. I thought the teaching was overwhelming. Not just that, I ended up at the biggest high school in the city. And there are dozens of high schools in this city. And it was a little intimidating for me at first as I thought about it. But I naturally present. I naturally speak. That's a part of what I did in business. And for a while, for a career, I was a speaker. Keynote, things of that nature. So, but this was daily. This is like the difference in having 6-7 people you date and see often as opposed to the one girlfriend. See, the one girlfriend requires you to be consistent at all times. It requires you to be. Everybody doesn't do that, but this is the good story. It requires you to be consistent. It's much harder to do something for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours than it is for 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. So if you're dating a whole lot of people, you only got a few minutes for each one of them. So you can mask your deficiencies for a while, long time actually. But the one person you see consistency will begin to see the breakdowns and that type of thing. But the good thing is now you can adjust when you realize how the good thing that unexpectedly fell in your lap, you don't have to surrender it just because you didn't plan it. Now you can embrace it. You can find out how to take care of it. You can find out how to grow it and love that thing just like you planned it. It is something that's happened to a lot of us, and sometimes we get in the way and we think about the one who got away or the deal that got away and that type of thing. And it wasn't that we didn't like it. Most times we're just unprepared. And so as I was growing up, the older generation used to remind us is don't get ready. Always be ready. So that way you can be prepared for it. Now, a lot of times people call it luck. But the truth of it is preparation meets opportunity. No matter what it is. The person who won the lottery had to work to get the $1 or $4, whatever it costs, for the power up and all that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They had to work to prepare to get those coins. Then they had to go to the store. Then they had to buy the ticket to be announced the winner. Preparation of working and going to the store and buying a ticket and so forth and so on allowed it to meet the opportunity of the winning numbers to win the lottery. So a lot of great things happen to us that are unplanned. So embrace it. But I would say, like I do, I start preparing for it. I start preparing to run into great deals. And life is all about mindset. It's all about mindset. We have to be in anticipation of great things happening. I've had a lot of bad things happen to me. I've made decisions to cause a lot of bad things to happen to me. But I've also had great things to happen to me that just fell in my lap. But I was prepared for it. I was prepared for it. Embrace life. Live life either on empty or until you're empty. Inspiring quote for today. Life is from the inside out. When you shift on the inside, life shifts on the outside. Kamal Ravikant. Thank you guys for coming to the first show. We're going to be doing some live shows soon. 6 o'clock each weekday. 15 minutes probably each day. But send me some topics. Let's talk about some stuff. When we go live, we'll have the live chat up and that type of thing. So the next show that we will do will be the 1st of January. And the title of that show, When They Are Just the Wrong Person for You. I know. Trust me. So, until then, we'll see you guys on the other side.